Rule 101. What's this nonsense? Shadows lie, crescent plies, the moon looks down upon us. There's lots of stuff about the moon. I need to search for the moon again. So the Fire Festival used to be on the day in October when the moon was completely in shadow. So, you know. I mean, I don't think it was Caleb, right? Don't get me wrong. I think Caleb was being set up, but still.
I do remember those kids were pretty rude for somebody that wanted to have their car fixed.
Oh yeah? How rude were they, Caleb?
Well, I heard one of them say that I was ugly in the car. And then
Caleb?
when I told the one guy, he said his name was Greg. When I told him he needed a new alternator or his engine was going to die, he told me he wanted me to fix it. I said I can't fix it because it was too messed up. And then he said some stuff and called me dumb.
Wow.
Ah.
This is a lot of dialogue for someone you couldn't remember a second ago. How'd that make you feel when they called you dumb?
I don't know. People have called me dumb before. I just said, look, there's nothing I can do. You need a new one. And then he got back in his car and left with his friends.
Did he seem mad? Were you mad?
He might have been mad. I don't know. I wasn't that mad.
Did you say anything else back to him? Or to his friends? The girls? Did they say anything?
No, I just went back to work on the other car. The Stang.
So now that we know you're directly connected to the murder victims, since we have the CCTV footage, should we start guessing your motives for murdering them? Was it because they were college kids and you never went to college? Or they were more successful? The guys had some good-looking girlfriends. They were successful compared to you, right? That's all it takes sometimes.
It's interesting. Colton has been, ever since we did Colton's videos, he's basically been ignored ever since then. He hasn't come up again as a suspect at all, which I guess makes sense in part because he's the one doing the interviewing, so, you know, he's not going to be in the chair that often. I have about 50 things in my search list, so we have to keep going.
Anything else happen at the garage while they were there?
No.
Nothing? You sure? Looking at the CCTV footage, your story seems to check out. There was just one little thing we were curious about.
Ain't there always?
This moment.
What am I supposed to be looking at here?
Yeah. In the picture, it looks like a random moment from when Heather and her group of friends were there. They are there. There's you, the car, the garage, etc. The thing is, here's the next moment. And the next. And the next. And the next. Notice anything weird about them?
No.
These photos are stills from video taken over the course of 45 seconds. Everything is moving apart from one thing in the video. You. There you are, standing like a statue, staring at the car full of Greg, Alana, Heather, and their friends. Why is that? What were you looking at, Caleb? Were you trying to remember if you left the stove on in the morning, sorting through the brain fog, playing statue, just trying to find your brain in there? Or maybe one of the girls caught your eye? Kind of creepy if you ask me.
It was not that, jackass.
Whoa. Calm down there. Must have hit a nerve. You gonna attack me too? So what was it then, if it wasn't that?
It just had a bumper sticker. It caught my eye. It had a symbol on it and some text I read a long time ago.
Okay. So they had a bumper sticker. What did it say?
It said, shadows lie, crescent plies, the moon looks down upon us.
What? Some mumbo jumbo hippie bumper sticker?
Hippy dippy.
So what's it mean?
I guess I have to search for bumper sticker. But that's on my list as well. Along with about 50 other things. We will be thorough. Like a cat. Oh god, it is. Caleb's just staring. Caleb. There he is. Where's his hat? Maybe that's why she didn't recognise him. He was hat and then hatless. I don't know how to search for the incantation because it's long. I'm just going to search bumper sticker, symbol, shadows, all that kind of nonsense and hope something shows up. But we're not done quite yet.
Hippy dippy jump on my dicky.
Wow, thank you for that.
The only other thing I can think of, besides everything else, was when we arrived. Greg had some trouble with his Jeep, so right as we were getting to town, he took it to the mechanics. He wanted to have someone look at it just to figure out what might be wrong with it and maybe get an estimate. The guy there wasn't threatening necessarily, but was kind of weird.
Weird? In what way?
He was just kind of odd. Was staring at us, at Alana.
Did he say anything?
Not really. It was just kind of a vibe.
Was this the same guy in the hat that attacked you at home?
Maybe. The guy at home was dirtier, though. Like he hadn't showered in a while. I think he was wearing different clothes.
Okay. Let's try and get Jerry from the garage on the line again. Give us some more details.
Okay, I can try.
Interesting. The hat. I feel like the hat is the red herring, you know. And that it's been, like, passed on, or he found it, or something. I don't know. The hat is... Because the hat is always the thing that gets recognised and linked to Caleb. It can't be Jerry. It has to be one of these five. God damn it. You never know, though. You never know.
Yeah, come to think of it, the guy
No.
in the house might have been the same stupid guy from the mechanics. One of the guys who worked there, I think, but both of them were idiots.
Oh, wait, both?
We just got a bad vibe from them right away. I've been dreaming about one of them, you know, at the hospital, maybe even before that.
Dreaming about him?
Yeah, he just shows up in flashes.
Jerry?
I don't sleep much.
You must be really shooken up.
Basically what I remember is that Greg stopped in to have his Jeep looked at when he got here. These guys seemed to hardly care about it, though. Greg was having a cigarette, and one of them kept staring, leering at me. You know when you make eye contact, someone usually looks away first? Yeah, this guy didn't look away. Next time I looked over at him, he was just laughing at nothing. Real creep.
Jerry? It can't be Jerry. There's no suspects left. But who's the other mechanic? I need to know. Give me info. Tell me. Who is the other mechanic? No, I need this information. God damn it. Grumble. Okay. Alright, I'm going back to my list. Mustang. Oh. Stang. Oh. Tang. Thought that was important. I was very wrong. I'm just gonna work through my list very quickly. Nope. What the hell does that say? Fizz bitch. What does that say? I have no idea. Fizz bitch. Oh god, only knows. Right, bumper sticker. Stop telling me suggestions. I've got my list.
That line on the bumper sticker. I just recognized it. It's a saying, an old saying.
Care to elaborate? You can't remember your own friggin' name, but you can remember this.
Fish asterisk 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 asterisk.
Thank you.
Some things stick with you. I can't claim to know how memory works.
No, you can't.
Wait. Just look at Caleb. Look at Caleb
I
here.
can't claim to know
Look at him.
how memory works.
Look where he's looking constantly.
No, you can't.
Tell us more about this thing.
Yeah, dying to know.
You know, I don't remember much apart from that. It's part of a poem or a sonnet or something.
What the frick is a sonnet?
Oh, I can't search. I want to search for more things. Caleb, he wasn't doing this before. We would have noticed. We've seen so many videos of Caleb. I don't think he was doing this in the past.
So you see this thing on the bumper sticker of their car. Then what?
If they were really into it, and I think they were, because that line is too obscure for them to be fakers, then I feel like I should tell people to warn them. That thing is dangerous.
Warn them? Dangerous? What do you mean?
I found their car parked at their house after work.
You followed them?
They were easy to track down since the town's not too big. I mean, what they were getting mixed up in was above their heads. They looked like normal college kids, not even people into the occult or anything like that. Probably read some spell online and wanted to try it out, like a lot of people who come into this town. Only I knew from the saying that they had read the real stuff, and I was scared. For everyone.
What's scary about some kids making potions and playing witches?
It's real. 4 dead kids prove it.
So what were they doing?
Sounds like they were messing around with something that caught on fire and exploded.
Possibly, yeah.
Just making my notes. It's crazy stuff. Look at that, look at Caleb. He's nearly a full pizza.
I'm going to read something, and you tell me what you think or you know about it.
All right.
Okay. Shadows lie, crescent plies, the moon looks down upon us. You ever hear that before?
Never heard that before.
How about read it?
I'm vaguely familiar with it.
How vaguely familiar?
It's from one of my books.
A book you have in your store. I feel
Technically.
like you're hesitating.
I think she wrote the book.
Well, I just don't recall which one. I mean, I'd be more than happy to look. The moon reference might take some time.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to do that.
This guy's hair really annoys me on the right hand side. Why is there like a little scraggly line of it? What's going on? Just shave it, you bizarre person. I feel like she wrote the book. That's what she does. She doesn't interpret lines the normal way. Anyway, let me get back to my list. Occult. Symbol. The big one. Come on, moon, be good to me. Moon. Yeah. Only one though, surprising.
The Black Moon.
Black moon? What's that?
Ah. You know quite a lot more than I gave you credit for. Yes. It's important in my field.
What is it?
In scientific terms. It is an additional new moon in a season. A moon lit from behind in full shadow. Invisible to most people on Earth.
Most people?
Yes, most people. We also call it a shadow moon.
Okay, so what's so special about this black shadow moon then?
The various stages of the moon cycle are important for many reasons. Practical uses like gardening and spell casting. Or just being when the barriers between our worlds are at their narrowest. That can have its advantages too.
And here I am doing my spell casting on Sundays during Dance Superstars. Well, anything to avoid having to watch.
I like the routines.
Alright, black moon. Shadow moon. Total eclipse. Useless. Useless, I tell you. I search for bumper sticker, search for black moon, bumper moon, blah 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 blah. Let's cross up my highlighter, it's dying on me here. Lots to do, lots to do. Jeep. No. Explosion. I'm gonna search for that along with, what's her name? Nope. Fire. Eh? Nope. Bomb. Eh? Nope. Well, husband.
You were married once before?
Yeah, unfortunately.
To an Anthony Valentine.
That's right.
How long were you married for?
7 years.
Mine lasted 3.
I guess there are exceptions to the rule.
What rule?
The 7-year itch.
Your husband died, though. A little different. What did he die of?
Tony died of a long-term illness.
What sort of an illness?
Just general illness, malaise. He was constantly sick.
You can't die of
What was
general
the cause of
illness.
death? I can look this up too, but it would just be easier if you told me.
Pneumonia.
In your house?
No, he had rented an apartment here downtown.
Tell me more.
Not much to tell, you know.
Come on, Natalie. You're under oath now. You can't hide anymore. It's like pulling teeth.
Funny you should say that. He was a dentist. Like I said,
Prentice
not much to
the
tell.
dentist.
He's from upstate New York. I was considerably younger. We were very unhappy, and then it ended. What else would you like to know about him?
Not much, I guess.
She killed her husband to get him out of the way. And, okay. She killed her husband. She had a deal with Craig that Craig was going to kill Claire and they were going to be together. When Craig didn't go through on the deal, she hooks up with Ruth, who is displeased with how people are treating all the new shit, and they group together. And, yeah. That's my running theory. I don't think any of this is that relevant. How do you spell pneumonia? Like that? That's not right, is it? That's right, isn't it? I just did that. Wait, where's the lock not working anymore? Sad face. I am very far into the game. Alright, back to my list. Singer. Let's find out a little bit about that.
I perform a few nights a week at the Lantern downtown.
Oh, I was meant to search for
Please,
Landsend
just
again.
come down. I'd love to sing for you, Jeffrey. Rick's
Ooh.
been there on several occasions. We've seen blues, jazz, rival, classic, country, and western.
The only music I listen to is gospel and classic.
Well, you can't teach grace.
Bet he does.
That's right. Some people are just born with it.
There's a little flirty little look there, I think. Oh, there she is. Natalie Bergstrom. Dollar beers? I would get murdered for $1 beers. Oh, great, okay. Lantern. Yeah. Rick. Damn it. My theory just fell down. Jeffrey. Whatever. Colton. Okay. Back to my list. Recorded. She had a thing against being recorded. Club. Cigarette. You got to search for this. Yeah, I did. We're gonna get there. Get through my list. Wait. What? Oh. I'm sure like I'd searched for this before and there'd been like a million different answers.
Ever trying to use witchcraft yourself? Seems like you live in the right place for it.
Doesn't everyone when they're younger?
Yeah.
No, but go ahead.
I tried to get someone to like me once.
Romantically?
Yeah, sure.
How'd
Was
that
it
work?
Craig?
It didn't.
That's all you tried?
Yeah, basically.
Basically?
Yeah, and then the reversal.
Which was...
Undoing it, I stopped liking them. They were a little dash of revenge, kid stuff though. I knew it wasn't going to work, and it didn't. The only thing that happens with that stuff is when people end up setting their house on fire.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, I don't know. We had that thing years ago. The house fire outside of town, remember? That was like the worst thing we had before this. Someone died all because of the same thing. What did the newspaper call it? The dog tooth ritual? I personally think Ruth and all her kind need to get out of town. They've been here for too long. People are getting hurt, some innocent, some not.
Ah, we'll just go ahead and search for the dogtooth ritual, shall we? Oh, that's sexy right there. God, the wall there.
Look, honestly, I haven't been honest with you this whole time. I do remember being here in town before 15 years ago. My first festival of fire. It had a fun reputation back then.
So you had fun?
Good, clean fun?
Not exactly.
Party wasn't happening enough for you? Lit, as they say?
They do say that.
It wasn't that. It was my first festival of fire, so I needed to be inducted according to the people I was with. I think it was BS when I look back on it. I went to the festival, did some partying, and then went to an after party outside of town. Just went too far and didn't have a good night. That's all.
Can we get some more details?
Yeah, this definitely sounds like we'll need some more details.
The tooth was a human tooth, guys. It wasn't a dog tooth. Yeah, I was going to say, the house fire, that was... Is that my evidence? Oh, God, so much evidence. Is this it? Yeah. That was, Colton's niece. She died in a house fire. I can't remember the date for that, but I think it was about 15 years ago, which was when Caleb happened to be in town. We already talked about that, didn't we? Did Caleb set the house on fire? And Mark Thomas was there, and Emily Thomas, and Anyways.
When I came to town before, I came to try the same thing those kids did. Well, almost. It was a different ritual from the same set of things to try. It was supposed to have a different effect, but just as the same. You leave a personal item up on the hill, recite some words when the moon is right, set yourself up in the right formation with the right stuff, and it should work. Easy, in theory. The desired outcomes are different, but that's it. But it never did. That's mostly why people aren't into this stuff for a long time. It never works.
It did seem to work 15 years ago. I remember you now.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's right. That night, outside the house, you looked a little younger, a little less ragged. Went by Colby then. One of your Colby phases. We interviewed you after, and inside the house was my niece. She died in the fire. I do remember you. You remember me? You standing there like a statue.
No.
Yes. There were a bunch of you. Blank, expressionless faces, sobering up and staring at the fire. Some people shouting at each other, others were like statues. Our conversation was likely one of the less memorable ones. Did you even try to save her?
No. I mean, yes, okay, it's true. I was at that house that night, really. Things just got really, really out of control. We came back from town after the lightning thing. Some of the guys who I didn't know from out of town bought some stuff and we all joined in. They brought out some random stuff and set it in a circle on the floor. They said we were going to do the dog tooth ritual. This is going to be different, I thought, maybe even fun. They were reading the spell from a random scrap of paper and then changing stuff. I had no idea what they were saying or what they were doing. The next thing I know, I can't hear the room anymore. Things just get distorted more and more. The room looked different, like in slow motion, like stretched out. You don't even know if the same people are there or not. I'm seeing weird stuff, faces, colors, sounds, all mixed together. The next thing I know, I look up and people are passed out and the walls are on fire and people are screaming, "Get out!" grabbing people and leaving. We tried to get everyone out, I swear. We couldn't get her in time. We tried.
Yo! It's all kicking off. It's all linking together. Caleb, what are we missing, Caleb? What are we missing? Wait, what? Oh, right, okay.
There's something about Caleb that doesn't like me. I think I remember now. It was with my niece when she died.
sure I am. What? Yeah, when Jesse died, he was there, at the house. He was one of them. There were about 30 people in there, and everybody was on something. A weekend of long parties. Most of the survivors of the fire had the same story. Waking up and then burning things. Getting out as fast as they could. That would explain burns. Yeah, probably.
Are they meant to be burns? They still don't look like burns to me on Caleb's back.
Have you ever heard of the dog tooth ritual?
I'm not familiar. I don't know every act from every tradition. With a name like that, I can imagine it being from the lower arcanas, perhaps modern, maybe even something off the books.
Off the books?
Unwritten, passed along orally. The street people here sometimes come in and chat about various things they've heard. That's where I hear about most of them.
Interesting. It caused a deadly fire years ago.
Sorry to hear that. People shouldn't mess with things they don't understand.
Do you think that happened a lot around here? Do you think that's what happened to those kids?
It's possible.
How possible?
They were
Falling over.
obviously into it. When they came by my store earlier, they were quite rude.
They were rude to you.
That's what Caleb
Please
said as
tell
well.
us more.
They stole from me.
You were robbed at your store by those guys? Really? Are you sure?
I am quite certain I wouldn't forget something like that.
What did they steal? Ruth! Stole. Ah! What? That was unexpected. Alright, cool, let's roll with it. I worry sometimes that the game obscures videos from search terms until other search terms, but that would be silly.
So tell us more about what happened at your store with the robbery.
The day started like any other. I did my various daily duties, some light dusting, and then manned the register.
A lot of people come in?
Yes. Well, that's subjective. Several.
Well, when did Heather and her friends arrive?
Mid-afternoon.
All 5?
Yes. There were 5. At first they were browsing, looking at my oddities and the special collections in the museum cabinet. Things were okay.
I take it something bad happened.
Yes, it turned quickly. They said the normal, newer books didn't work. They wanted older things, rarer. Kept saying I knew where I kept them. So insistent. I mean, I refused for a time. However,
you knew where you kept them, yeah.
well, eventually, after endless back and forth, I caved.
What did they want? What did you give them?
Exactly what they wanted. My oldest book. A book on Grand Rock mythology.
A book on dangling rock.
That's one thing covered in it.
What else is in it?
It covers the greater area, natural formations and other important connections to the earth. From long ago until my grandmother stopped updating it, there's been a lot of animosity surrounding Dangling Rock and the others here over the years. This tells some of the history between the tribes.
Like Native Americans?
No, well, in part. This goes back before and after that time. It has original writings, history, divinations, and musings from my whole family, generations upon generations.
Where is it? Can we take a look?
It's at my store. I can give you a copy. When I asked why they were interested, I thought they were only looking to get into the basics of spell casting from what we had been talking about. The older boy only replied, he was.
And the book doesn't have that.
No, it has the history of the area, but some important pieces of information too. There are many natural resources and important minerals found in the area. Maybe they were just making sure everything they read beforehand was true, to confirm in the book.
Interesting.
Yes. Unfortunately, that tome really was of no real interest. The boy looked at it briefly and then laughed at me and threw it back on the shelf. It almost hit me. He was really after something else. His second request was far more specific. My original copy of the Book of Games.
What is the Book of Games, Ruthie? I'm sure you'll tell us in a second. So also stop looking at the demon, okay?
So you were borderline assaulted when you got the book thrown towards you and robbed. And you didn't think to call us. File a report.
It's not my way. Besides, they only left with a single piece of paper. The one book was thrown my direction and the other left on the counter, not too serious. How much priority would this Mickey Mouse shop have given that?
We would have taken the details of the incident, gone, and talked to the suspects when we could.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your honesty, but I didn't find it that serious.
So they asked to see 2 books. A book on natural phenomena from the area, and this game book.
What's that?
The Book of Games.
And this game book. And this game.
Nothing.
The Book of Games, yes.
You said they left with a piece of paper.
Yeah, what exactly did they take?
An old document that was held in the book. Part of a diary. The diary of a man who lived several hundred years ago.
What would they want with that?
Orlando.
Maybe he didn't know he was holding it when he stormed out. It just seemed like he just wanted to show me.
And after you knew Alana was with them and that she lived right down the street from you, you didn't confront them later? Maybe go over and ask for your property back?
5 people versus 1. What could I have...
So you were just going to let it go and call it good?
Not exactly. That document wouldn't be very useful to them. I knew I'd get it back eventually.
How?
Oh no. Just figured it would come back.
Oh, Ruth, you are a sus one, aren't you? Oh, they're all so sus. Oddly enough, the only one I don't consider sus right now is Caleb, and that's because he was too sus to be sus. There has to be a balance of susness.
Greg wanted to go to that store that day, the witchcraft gothic one. I wasn't really into it. We went in and looked at a bunch of books on the racks, some of the jewelry, and the little museum section. Honestly, we were looking for the stuff they had in the display, the old creepy things. And when we looked back, Greg was arguing with the store owner. She seemed really nice before that. Now they were yelling. Greg wanted some books she claimed not to have. Some family thing he really wanted to look at.
Was the book called Grand Rock Mythology?
I think so. She gave him a copy, but he wanted to see the real thing, I guess. She finally went to the back room and got it. He looked through and then asked for some other stuff.
What sort of other stuff?
A different book. It had a bunch of papers in it. He got angry. We weren't really sure why. Just kept demanding them. Eventually she brought something out and he looked at the book, and then before we knew what was happening, he took a piece of paper and left for the door and told us to follow him.
Greg is sus. Greg kind of sounds like a dick. Greg's the one picking all the fights.
What paper did he take?
I don't know. He was just ranting about the store owner. She obviously bothered him because she wouldn't help him.
Sounds like she helped him.
Yeah.
Did it look old?
Yes.
So, something Ruth had, or created.
Probably.
And the book, what was it called?
I don't remember.
Do you remember what it looked like?
Yeah, it had light blue on the cover and some ornate design.
Why did your friend rob the store? From what you said, he seemed like a nice guy. Why not buy the thing?
I don't know. I don't think it was for sale since it wasn't out.
Your friend robs the store, right? And you didn't know anything about it, even when you left with him, right?
Yeah, this is the first time I'm hearing that it was a robbery. By the time we walked to meet him at the front of the store, he was on the way out. He had some old piece of paper which I didn't notice at the time.
Yeah, Greg's dead. Why is the recording missing there? How unusual. Everything is unusual. Right, okay, we have many things to search again. Diary. Yeah? Oh, Ruth. Baby. Baby girl.
So what's this diary page they grabbed?
Oh, we call it the Key of John.
And what's the Key of John?
Who is John?
The key. A document hundreds of years old. Stolen by your victims 2 days ago. The document refers to a man called John van Persie.
Dutch.
An early 16th century
Called it.
explorer from the Netherlands. He met indigenous cultures all over the world for the first time. Gained a lot of knowledge on how the world works.
So was he a witch, or as you call it, a warlock, that sort of thing?
No. But he met many types of people, many spiritual, and gained their trust. They gave him some of their writing to take with him. They knew having it as far away from them as possible would save the true usefulness of their work from being uncovered. He took it back to the old world.
So, you do a spell, incantation, ritual, whatever. You do some stuff on the hill, say some stuff in your house and stuff like that, but what's it all supposed to do?
Well, in this case, the key interprets the part of the game book as originally intended. It imbues the enchanter with newfound windows into the world.
Newfound windows into the world.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to ask for an explanation for that.
Knowledge, power. Your kind would call them abilities. Powers.
Powers. Like superpowers. Superhero stuff?
Whoa, I want invisibility.
I bet you do, you cheeky old pervert. Evidence. Is this the key of John that we're about to look at? Oh. Bloody hell. There's some satanic looking stuff going on here. Then you hear a knock on the door or something. Okay. I can't believe Ken's dead. And she walks him. She walks the dead dog. Well, she walks the leash around anyway. No wonder Ken's in evidence. He's dead. Oh, Kenny.
I am not used to such events in my store. As you know, I was working around 3 p.m. They barge in and demand to see my most prized books. I said I didn't know where anything was and to come back later. They insisted I find the books and wouldn't leave until they had them. Said they needed them now. I tried to tell them how cluttered everything was in the store, but they didn't believe me. One of them knocked over my card displays, trying to make a point, no doubt. I had had enough of them then and walked over to the drawer behind the display cabinet, where I found the books that they were after. They snatched it out of my hands, looked it over, and demanded to see my older, original writings as well. They took the document we're talking about and off they went. I picked up my display of cards and went back behind the counter and finished the day.
Just surprised we didn't get any calls about a robbery at your store that day.
I understand, but it's typically not our way. I tried to stop them. I wanted to give them a fake key, but it just wasn't possible.
So the key is the diary of this John lad, John Van Persie.
Anything else about the key? The key of John.
I have a lot of books and documents. I'd have to go back to the store to tell you more. I can give you an inventory list if you'd like with descriptions. Hasn't been updated in a while though. Come to think of it, I think last looked at that particular document 30 years ago. But that's not to say it's not exactly as described. Now, what was it?
All right, Ruth, come on. What do you know about this thing?
I'm not sure. I must be having a senior moment. Something like a song or a recipe.
A song, a recipe. The kid comes in, asks about 2 specific books he knows you have, and then leaves with this old piece of paper. It could have been an accident, but nothing about this case seems like an accident, and maybe it's another knockoff you sell.
Let's make one thing clear, gentlemen. All of the things I sell in my store are genuine. My store sells and collects heritage articles and other heirlooms dating hundreds of years.
Those magic kits you sell for $10 are genuine.
They bring genuine joy to those that purchase them.
It's not the same thing,
The
Ruthie.
stuff you have in the cabinets is real. The expensive stuff.
Of course. And those things aren't for sale.
Would you mind us coming to take a look around? Maybe take some pictures of your inventory.
Yes,
You would mind.
We could probably get a warrant.
I could make an exception.
Great. Tell us what we'll find out.
Talk to us. Come on, Ruth. You've been holding out for bloody ages.
Okay, fine.
There we go.
When put together and done on the correct night, the last time moon is in full shadow in October. The spell they tried should work by opening the portal to the spirit world, since the doorway is at its thinnest. This lets the enchanter communicate with the required spirits to activate parts of the 5 branches or pillars of the Leviathan, or the sabbatic goat, as it's known in some circles. These refer to improved or enhanced sense, as you know it. The traditional ones: sight, hearing, smell, touch, breathing. Communication is another. Manipulation of matter, that sort of thing as well. Or it could be a combination, making your existing senses heightened and the ones you don't know you have.
Improved breathing, communication. Okay.
Those are the closest words in our language to describe them, but not as you or I know them. Communication can mean talking across various planes of physical existence and locations, or just harnessing metaphysical world to use it in our world.
Talking with your dead relative.
Anyway.
Anything else happen with this ritual? Lights, sounds, fire?
Death. It always results in death.
So why do it?
That's the big question, isn't it? Keep in mind, it's not always the enchanter's demise. At least when done properly, it shouldn't be, in theory.
Well, what's this thing called, the spell that they tried?
The Burning Shadows Ritual.
God, so much to search for. Burning Shadows Ritual. So this isn't the Dogtooth ritual. The Dogtooth one was the one they did 15 years ago. Now they're doing the Burning Shadows one instead. Evidence. What have we got? To the book. I really appreciate the font usage, which is so cliche, spooky old font. It's great. It's a penis. What's Michelangelo got to do with this? Interesting. Okay, right. Well, let's search for the Burning Shadows. Shadows. Burning. Hold on. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Jesus Christ. Sorry, Saka. Right, buckle in, folks. It's burning. I'm going to make another page for the Burning Shadows ritual because I think literally everybody is on this page. I don't think that's ever happened before. There's Caleb, Colton, Ruth, maybe Heather. This one that needs to be Heather for it to be a full 5, and then a couple for Natalie as well. Burning Shadows ritual. All we know so far, done on Dark Moon Day. Allows heightened sense. I don't know, how do you describe that? Allows superpowers. I'll do. And always results in death. And you use the key to do it. The key of John, I think. Colin is one of our suspects. Alright.
Look, I'm telling the truth.
You start out lying, saying you don't even remember your own name. Now she would just start believing you?
Things have been coming back to me since we've been talking. I swear. I got to the house that night, and I heard some weird noises. Like they were in my head, but outside too. I felt like I needed to go inside somehow, and I saw lights coming from inside. So I walked up to the porch, turned the door handle, and went inside. Inside the house, it was dark, but I saw these colors coming from the back room. I went down the hall and reached for the door, but I must have hit my head because the next thing I knew it was morning, and I was back out on the porch. After a minute, I went inside into the living room and checked, but it was too late. Everyone was already dead. I swear.
Do you remember how you hit your head? At what point was that?
No, I don't remember.
You hit your head a lot, don't you?
No.
How about the location? What was the last thing you remember being in the living room that night?
I honestly can't remember. Stuff was weird at the time. The noises were both in my head and outside of it. What I was looking at was weird too. Things were kind of like a picture, like a painting, or like a stained glass window, and all distorted somehow.
Sounds odd.
Yeah, I'll say.
Do you remember if you saw anyone in there, in the house at night?
No. I mean, maybe some of the shapes were people. They were like paper dolls or something, moving, just shapes of people and noises.
And nothing in the morning either?
It was too ugly. I looked away and left.
Well, it seems like this kind of like stained glass wibbly wobbly effect is probably the if we just live in a world where all this is real, then the wibbly wobbly stuff is that effect of the barriers between the two worlds being broken. And they were obviously doing the ritual somewhere as he walked in. And he saw the effect happening. No, they're not just reading the scripts. There's a demon on the right-hand side. On their right-hand side. What telekinesis evidence thing? There wasn't one in evidence, was there? What are you on about? What you want about?
5 branches of a pentagram and 5 victims. Seems like the spell worked.
So you think it was a suicide? Like a mass cult thing?
Let me just point one thing out to you, geniuses. That spell, that ritual, the burning shadows, you didn't have 5 victims, you had 4. It worked, but not like it was supposed to. 4 people died, so something changed. Otherwise, all 5 of them would still be alive.
Remind us what the burning shadow ritual is in your eyes.
I don't know. I've only ever heard of it from things not to try in that book.
Which book?
The game book.
So what changed?
I guess that's for you to find out.
Ooh, you want to see this again? It's not just about telekinesis. Let's point that out there. Is that enough?
So do you think these kids are involved with whatever your niece got into back then?
Seems like they were definitely trying something similar. Although my niece was the only one who died in that fire and everyone else got out relatively okay.
I'd like to point out that Colton is drinking a Diet Pepsi. He's still sus. Good old Jerry. Wait, not Jerry. What's his name? Rick? Is it Rick or Rich? Good egg over here. Got himself a Dr. Pepper or something. He's a good lad.
So, something similar then.
If they did it to themselves, then they all but died acting foolishly. I'd say that's pretty similar.
You really believe it though? That this stuff is real?
There's so many people that believe in this witchcraft stuff. Witchcraft, people look you straight in the eye and tell you that they think it's real. So many of those people. There's got to be truth behind it. Smart people. My own family thought it, and I've seen some weird stuff in this job. So if it is, the pendulum's got to swing back another way.
And how do we do that?
Hard work, perseverance, being vigilant. It's not hard. Just got to be determined to do the right thing.
Colton, coming over to the dark side a little bit there for the hyper-Christian boy. 4 powers. Of it is dead.